Um, this post did not trigger me, but a comment in the post triggered me, but I can't find the comment now. But I do want to read the post, and I want to ask, are we really brothers of the struggle? And what is that struggle, right? So check it out. So here's the post. It's in that Black Fathers group that I always laugh about because, like, only 3 of them are actual biological fathers. Everybody else stepdads. But this dude is an actual dad. So the post says, go day, my brothers and fathers. Let me say that I personally don't have anything against any ethnicity, but I love mine. Let me reiterate. He said any ethnicity, but I love mine. Okay, cool. So my son has been talking to a Hispanic Latino girl, and in all accounts, she's a really good person. They're both 17. My son tells me that he likes this young lady and wanted to be in a more intimate relationship with her. Right now, it's not really about sex. So I informed my son of my preference for him would be nice. He didn't write it right. That my preference for him would be a nice Jamaican / Native American / black girl. Pause. Let's pause right there. Now, at the top, he said he has nothing against any ethnicity, but he loves his ethnicity. Then he follows and says that his preference for his son would be a nice Jamaican / Native / black girl. When he says black girl, you know he's talking about American black, with what they call black in America. But we're talking ethnicity. So just think, when you talk ethnicity, it has its own cultural background to it. So let's just on a random, let's say that every ethnicity is food. This is Jamaican food. Lots of curry, lots of grilled meat, plankton, cabbage, oxtails that they never actually try to sell. The food is indigenous to the island because those are the foods that are Caribbean based, right? Native Americans, totally different. Sorry about that. So when you look at Native American cuisine, you're looking at a lot of wild rice. Most of their food has a very large amount of corn in it, so which they call maize. So you have maize, you have a lot of wild rice, you have things indigenous to America. The ethnic background also goes into, even we can go into religion. The foods that they eat goes back into their native religions. That's how deeply in tune, when you talk about ethnicity, food is love, all this stuff goes back to who they are essentially as people. You get into what they call American black, you will see a lot of fried food, because a lot of the times when they had to live off the land, and it'll be a lot of chicken, because chickens were they multiply very quickly, and what they call American blacks, they always say came from slavery, even though only 1/6 of all Tawny people were slaves. They act like Boston and New York and everything north of the Mason-Dixon didn't exist. All of a sudden everybody was free. Not everybody was a slave. Anyway, but what they call black food is what the Southerners call soul food. So it's always cooked in lard. We don't use lard anymore. Now you use vegetable oil or whatever. But initially it was always, they had to cook it in lard. So a lot of foods were fried because you have to cook a lot of food in a short period of time. A lot of baked foods, a lot of vegetation, greens, beans, which normally takes a long time to cook. They aren't the quickest, most time efficient foods. So these are things that basically weeds. They were basically picking weeds and boiling weeds for hours and adding seasonings to it. And to give it flavor, they'll put pig guts in it or something like that, which is why people still put ham hocks and hogs snouts and everything else in their greens to this day, just to give it a quote unquote flavor. It's a very different food. The food itself of that ethnicity shows the plight of that ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? Just when you start talking about ethnicity, something as simple as what you eat, how you, before you even go to how you look and where you're from, just your nutrition is a base of it. You know what I'm saying? You know where you're going. You know when you go someplace and buy the food, what type of place that you in, man. That's so he's not talking about ethnicity. He's talking about color, and he's indiscriminate about color. All right. So to get back to this post, so he says, I told him regardless of his ethnic choice, I guess, ethnicity choice in a girl or eventually a woman, I will be there for him, but I cannot approve. Again, I'm not anti anyone, but I am strong in my belief of my children being with someone of their own group. He means OWN, own group. He told me my opinion hurts, but he respected the honesty. Anyone ever going through this? Okay. Now I will say this. What's up, y'all? I'm on my last day of 720 treatment. Just excuse the do-rag with the hat. I'm really hot as shit, but my waist gonna be so beautiful. This is men version of the pain that girls go through for $380 for a wrap. All we gotta do is wave grease and a do-rag. Anyway, to the credit of the thread, most guys was like, nah, bruh, that's not hot in the streets. Most of them called it out as it kind of being racist, right? Well, racial preference, but it's not a racial preference. It's a color preference, because he named 3 ethnicities that just happen to share the same color. What inspired this this video was, there was a comment that I saw, and it said, one of the guys who did kind of agree with him, and the dude was like, I'm tired of being all up in it. Maybe I should use the mic. Maybe that's what it was made for. And the guy was saying that he understands why this father would want his children to be with a woman of the same ethnicity. They keep saying ethnicity, but it's not ethnicity. They mean color. Anyway, because she would know his struggle. That triggered me, y'all. And I'll tell you why it triggered me. Because it's not the first time I heard it. I've been hearing that since my grandmother was saying, if she can't use your comb, don't bring her home. Who told you that you were supposed to struggle? Who told you that a struggle is supposed to be shared? A triumph is to be shared. The struggle of going through preseason, the regular season, getting to the playoffs, and eventually achieving your ultimate goal, the camaraderie, but you're working towards something. It's not when they say struggle, they mean victimization. So why do I want someone whose entire identity is based on my particular struggle? Because girls don't want to struggle. They get all type of assistance so they don't have to struggle. They'll date Brad that makes $36,000 a year, but tell you as a black man, if you want to date a black woman and be a real man, you got to make $150 and give her $120. It's not about a struggle. Love is not a struggle. It shouldn't be. It is if you're a boomer, because I ain't seen a happy marriage with them boomers in a minute. But it shouldn't be a struggle. So, since he's talking color, but he means culture, let me show you what the same color, different culture looks like. Okay, so this is an old movie from the 1980s called Colors. Another comment that was in that post was about a guy that stayed outside of Lansing, Michigan, saying that he doesn't truly believe in they don't believe in interracial dating where he's from either, because everybody marries their own type of people, in which he was talking about culture. Nobody wants you to leave your culture, right? But everything's a culture. Even if you talk about gangs don't want you to leave their gang and join another gang. Once you belong to a culture color doesn't matter. So even in this scene in colors, as you see all these actors slash dancers act hard in jail, this absolutely would never happen, by the way. Red and blue do rag, maybe in the 80s, but there's no way in the world. And then everybody dancing, throwing they signs up. But those are two opposing cultures. Crips being a culture, Bloods being a culture, Brothers of the Struggle being a culture, the 20 Moles being a culture. There's a lot of different types of cultures and subcultures, and everybody wants people to be attached to the culture in which they came from. There's nothing wrong with that if you establish the culture. Now, because I'm using American cinema, of course, all the cultural identification marks for tawny men will be negative. And I'm going to show you a positive one in a minute. I'm just amazed, just as a side note, I'm amazed at how many stars were in this movie, man. You know what I'm saying? We just saw a scene. The scene started with Don Cheadle. Now you're looking at this scene right here. You got Duvall. You got Sean Penn in one of his first movies. You know what I'm saying? He's talking right now. The cop's talking to Leon. Right there to the right of him is Damon Wayans. Then you have, who else is that right there? Yo, it's an all-star cast before they were stars, man. That colors gave a lot of people an opportunity to grow. It's bananas. Anyway, but let's see a positive culture. Yeah, while I'm thinking about it, man, like and subscribe and share for me, man. Like, I need to get up to 1,000. You know what I'm saying? 1,000 subs, bro. Subscribe, man, and share the video if you like the video, and send me stuff, man, that you want to hear. This whole tribal tolerologist spin on, man. All right, yeah. Click like and subscribe though. Yeah. All right.